welcome back to PE with James. It's week 2, and if you're watching this video, you are in P1 and P2 at Glenboy Primary. So this week we are going to be covering balance, and what balance means is how well you can control your body weight in a range of different positions. Balance is involved everywhere that you move, either when you're walking, running, sitting, falling. Balance is always used as a very important skill to be able to work on and have in your body, whether you just like to dance or play football or any activity that you like to be involved in. Now we're going to take up a range of different shapes today, and you're going to try and guess what they are, but I've also got a little challenge at the end too. So in terms of what you need to participate today, you can see I'm back in the playroom. I've tidied it up and I've got this nice clear space around me. That's all you're going to need to be able to participate. It's just a little bit of room. You're a lot smaller than me, so you shouldn't need as much room. But in case you do, please ask a parent or guardian to help you just make a little bit of space around the room. Next, I've got a pair of trainers on today. You can use some slippers or some trainers. Hopefully you were told about that in advance. But in case you weren't, just grab a pair of slippers or a pair of clean-ish trainers. You don't necessarily wear dirty trainers in the house. You'll need them for later on. You don't need them straight away. And I've got a drink of water over here too. Always a good idea to have that available as well. Okay, so we're going to start off with a little warm-up just to make sure our bodies are ready to do some exercise today. And then we're going to move into loads of different shapes, and you're going to try and guess what they are. Now I know I can't hear you, but when in your lesson with Mrs. Calvert, you'll be able to guess what they are, and she'll be able to help you work out if you were right or if you didn't. If you can try again. Okay, so first off, what we're going to do, we're just going to take this really deep, this is called a squat. We're going to sit all the way down, and I'm just going to put my hands into this little prayer shape, and I'm going to push them to make my knees go further this way. This is a nice stretch for your body. From here, I'm going to stand back up. I'm now going to step forwards, and I'm going to very slowly drop this knee down to the floor, and when it touches the floor, I'm going to sit backwards, and I'm going to try and touch my toes at the front and just hold on to them for a little second. Now I'm going to put my toes back, and I'm going to try and stand up really, really slowly. This is where we start working on our balance. Back to standing. I'm going to step forward again. I'm going to do the same again. Very, very slowly down to the ground. Let my knee touch the floor. Let my toes go flat at the back. Now I'm going to sit back and hold on to my toes at the front. And just give that, you'll feel a nice little stretch all the way under your legs here. We're going to stand up again, nice and slowly, and come back to the middle. Now what we're going to do for a little stretch is open our legs a little bit wider, and we're going to push this is called your hips, but you can push your bums backwards. And I've got nice straight legs, and I'm just going to let my hands lean in front of me, and I can kind of move them around a little bit, go over to one foot, go over to the other foot, maybe go further forward or move them back between my legs. Go back to this foot and this foot, further forward and further back. Okay, we'll bring them in together this time. You're going to come onto your hands and knees, and we're just going to try and do a little bit of balancing just in this area here. So what I'm going to ask you to do first is to lift up one arm, hold it nice and strong. And with your body here in your tummy, I want you to hold your tummy really tight, really tight. And we're going to put that arm back, move up our other arm as high as it will go, but keeping it straight. I know you can't see them, but I'm pointing my fingers. And I'm going to do the same with my leg back here. Point a leg really strong behind me, pointing my toes, and point the other leg, pointing those toes. Now we'll try and do 2 at the same time, which is a bit harder, but I think you can give it a go. So I'm going to lift up one arm and the opposite leg. So for me, that's the left arm and the right leg. This might be a bit wobbly, but you don't have to do it for very long. This time I'm going to lift my right arm and my left leg. Hold them really strong. I'm going to put them down. I'm going to do it again on both sides. Left arm and the right leg. Taking my time. And now right arm and the left leg. And then whilst we're in this shape, we're going to make one of the normal little stretches that we make is a dog, it's called a dog position. And we're going to make this, it looks like a little triangle. Try and keep our heels down to the floor. And I'm going to push my armpits towards my ankles. I know they don't get there, but I'm going to try. Okay, and from here, I'm going to walk my hands far, far away and hold this plank shape here. But what I'm going to do with the plank shape, just to test my balance, is I'm going to walk from side to side. Walk around a little bit. If you've got more space, like you don't need to stay on a video camera like I do, you can walk around your living room, put on your hands and feet. Okay, drop back down to your knees. And what we want to do is give our arms a little stretch here too. So I'm going to take this arm, I'm going to stretch all the way around my body, trying to keep it as close into the body as I can. You can see my arms not staying close. Something I have to work on. And this arm goes all the way around too. And I'm going to repeat the exercise on this side. All the way around. And this one. All the way around. Now I'm going to get up. I'm going to do it on the legs. This is a little bit harder, but what I'm going to try actually to do is to lift the knee up, move your leg round and out in a big, big circle, imagining like there's a chair next to you and you're having to lift your leg over that chair. Do it once on both sides, and you can see we're standing on one leg now. So we're starting to use our balance skills. Lift it over and around. And last one on this side. Over and around. Okay, whew. I'm certainly getting warm doing this. Hopefully you are too. It's the first time we're going to have a little drink. So, once we've had our little drink, we're going to move on to the next section. So what I've got is a range of different shapes for you to try and come into and also guess what they are. So, first of all, you're going to copy what I do. So, I'm going to stand straight up, arms straight, feet together, hands straight. Now I'm going to lift one foot. I'm putting this foot just on the inside of my knee. I'm going to bring my hands into a prayer shape. And you're not going to see my hands now, they're going to disappear. But I'm going to move them up into the sky. Now, whilst we're holding here, can anyone guess what this shape is? And you can only just see my hands, so maybe I'll move them down a bit. What does this shape remind you of? A little bit, even if my knee was closer in. I'm going to swap onto the other side, and you can do too. So, same again. Feet together, hands together, foot into the inside of the knee, and your hands are going to go up. Has anyone guessed yet? It might not look very good because I'm doing it, but this shape is supposed to resemble a tree. Do you see now we've got branches at the top here? Maybe I can move my branches out a bit. Maybe that looks more like a tree here, like with a big bunch of leaves on top. And this is the main stump of the tree. What do you think? Yes? No? I'm sure you all look like good trees as well. Okay, we're going to try it again on both sides. So, balancing on one foot. Maybe this time we're going to bring the knee in front, not at the side. Hands together, move them up, and let's keep some wide hands at the top then to make it look more like a tree. Very good. Swap sides again. One leg up, hands into your prayer. Up they go. Now I'm going to make them wide and bring my hands into the top to make a big bunch of leaves on the top of this tree. Well done, well done. Good balancing. Now, if at any point you fall over, during this exercise, don't worry, you have to get back up and try this again. We're just designed to make sure we make ourselves stronger through our legs and our arms to be able to balance in different positions. Now next, we are going to move on to, a nice harder one from that last one. So, we were on one leg before. You're going to guess what shape this is. So, I'm going to, I just kicked all the toys, I need to move. I'm going to lean over, and I'm kicking one leg out behind me, and I'm going to lift my arms up in this shape and get as low down as I can, whilst keeping this leg straight. Holding on, I'm going to stand up, and we'll try it again on the same leg. So maybe keep your arms out wide from the start if you want. I'm going to bend over from your waist here, from your middle. Bend over, lift the leg at the back as high as it goes. Can you guess what shape it is? What if I flap my arms? What shape am I making? Hopefully you guessed I'm trying to be a flying bird, or you could say an aeroplane. I'm going to swap legs. So I'm now going to go onto my left leg. That was my right leg before. Onto my left leg, moving my arms out. Check I'm not going to kick anything or anyone behind me. I'm going to lean over, lifting the leg at the back. And you can, if you want, when you get balanced, have a little flap of the arms just gently. And come back to standing again. We're going to do it again on this side. Hands up on my left leg. Lean forwards. Leg at the back goes up. And I lean as far down as I can go. And I can have a little flap of the arms too. Oh, that's one of the tougher ones. Right, after two tough ones, we need to have a little sit down. Okay, so next up we're going to be on the floor here. And I'm going to get you to bring your feet together. To make sure I'm in the best picture. Feet together. I'm going to sit back onto the ground. I'm going to lay my hands at the side of me and bring my feet in as close to my bum as possible. From here, I'm going to lift my hips, which is here, and push my bum up off the floor, making this really, really high shape. Now, can you guess what this shape might look like? Can anyone have a guess? What do you think it might be used for, this shape? I'm going to sit back down. You can have a little rest for a second, then we're going to try it again. So all the time when you try it again, bring your feet in as close to your bum as possible. Keep your head and shoulders down on the floor and lift your hips all the way up. Can you guess what the shape is? It's a bridge. If you imagine cars or something driving over the top, making a nice big high bridge shape. Now there's a different way we could do this one to make it slightly harder. This time I'm going to lift one of those legs and I'm going to try and keep it in line with my thighs. So my thighs is the second top half of the leg. I'm going to try and keep these guys in line. So what we're going to do this time is lift and keep one leg pointing in the air, pointing my toes and keeping that leg up and holding. I'm going to drop down and swap the legs. Point the other leg, lift up and hold, hold, hold. So this is a one leg bridge. We call this one because we're only using one leg. I'm going to sit back down and sit all the way up. Okay, hopefully these shapes are right. We're going to do one more and have a quick little drink break. So this time, we're going to stand. We're going to do a lunge shape, just like we did in the warm-up. We're going to start off in a lunge position, so one foot well in front of the other. And what we're going to do with this lunge is drop down, but now with our arms, I'm bringing my right arm onto my right thigh, underneath. I'm going to lift this one all the way up. And I want you to try and guess what this shape is. This is at the top. I'm just going to hold this here. What shape do you think we're making? Hopefully you can see at the same time as holding the shape. I'm going to stand back up and do it on the other side for you to see. So it's a long lunge. And lunge down. This time the left arm comes onto the left leg and the right arm comes up over the top. What shape are we making? Can you guess? It's a giraffe. There's his head up here. Hi, I'm a giraffe. Hi. So he's got his little giraffe head. Maybe put his fingers up too. Looks like a giraffe's head now. And we're going to try it again on the other side. So nice big lunge. Drop ourselves slowly down, keep our balance as we do. One hand underneath and the other hand up on the top. And can you make a little head? I'm going to put my fingers up too. Make a little head. Hi, I'm a giraffe, he's talking. Nice big long stretch. Swap sides. Last time on this side. Whoop. I nearly lost my balance, right? Slowly drop down, hand under, hand over. See if you can make a little shape, make a little mouth. Hi, he's talking. Make a nice little shape. And up we go. Okay, it's time for a little drink before we go to the next one. Let's have a wee sip. Okay, next up, we've got 4, how many shapes left to do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 shapes left. Okay, let's have a sitting one next. Sitting one next. So, what I'm going to do with this shape, I'm going to place my hands back behind me. I'm going to lift my legs up. And I'm using these hands as balance. Now, once you've found your balance, I want you to try. Whoa, when I lifted mine, I nearly fell. Try and keep your legs up and lift your hands up too, and point those hands in the same direction as your feet. What shape does it look like we're making? Especially on this floor that I'm on a blue floor. What if this blue floor was the sea? What shape would I look like? Can you guess? I'm making a boat. I'm going to show you the 2 versions again. So if you can't balance just without your hands, you have your hands placed behind you. Lift your feet up off the ground, and balance them. If you want to make it a harder one, you lift your arms, keep your legs up, and try not to capsize like a boat in a storm. There is one harder version still for all you really talented pupils. Try and straighten your legs really high. This is the harder one. You might get some people fall, but it's okay if you do. You can just go right back to the start and try again. When you get confident and balanced, straighten those legs and hold this shape and try not to fall. I'll keep working on that one. Right, on to the next. Now this one that looks a little bit similar to what we did when we did the tree pose, but it is different. Okay, so we're going to stand feet together again. You're going to lift your foot to the inside of your knee. Now this time with our arms, we're going to keep our arms tucked all the way in. Keep our arms tucked in this sort of shape, or in this shape, whichever you prefer. What shape do I look like I'm making this time? Now, you swap legs. If you could imagine I was pink and I was stood around hundreds and hundreds of other birds. I keep losing my balance in this one. Hundreds and hundreds of other birds. What bird do you think I would be? I'm trying to be a flamingo. Maybe it needs a bit of work, this one. I should have worn a pink t-shirt. So swap legs again. Now this time, to make it a little bit harder, you can see I was wobbling around a little bit. So I need to practice a bit more. So, got my wings tucked in. I'm standing on one leg like flamingos always do. But this time I'm going to close my eyes. Are we ready? So get your balance. I'm going to close our eyes, and when we do, we're going to imagine that we're the flamingo and we've got our foot stood in water, and all around us are all those other flamingos. Some are flying, some are standing in the water looking for fish. Okay, you can open your eyes and swap legs. Closing your eyes is the part that makes it really hard, but it's also the part that really helps you improve your balance. So, one leg up, you've got your wings here nice and close into the body, and closing your eyes. My right foot doesn't like it as much, so I'm closing my eyes, trying to see all those other flamingo friends, but I keep losing my balance. Anytime you lose your balance, you just put your foot down and restart. There we go, now I've got a little bit more balance. I'm sure you're all feeling a little bit wobbly too. And the foot goes down. Right, next one. We've done that one, we've done that one. Ooh, we've got 2 or 3 left. Okay, this one, probably one of the easier ones, but it depends how well you do. So, what I'm going to do this time, I've got to lift my leg up. I'm going to hold the leg in place. You might not need to do that. I'm going to bend this leg. So I'm standing on this leg. I'm going to show you the side. Holding one leg up. I'm bending one leg. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. Holding one leg just for a second. Bending down and then aiming down to the floor. Now, this one I think looks more like a number. Can you guess what number this looks like? Anyone? What do you think? Is it a number 1? No. Number 8? It's actually a number 4. Now try it again. So one leg lifted up, I don't have to hold this one. Bending down on the first leg and pointing my hands down towards the bottom toe. You see how I look like a number 4? Up, across, and over there. Kind of, hopefully. It can also get called a chair pose. It's like we're sitting in a chair. I'm going to swap legs, try it again. I always have to hold this one up, so you feel free to do the same. Bending one leg and pointing the hands down towards the toes. I'm just holding here, trying to be a number 4. I'm going to swap legs for the last time on this one. And bend the standing leg and point my fingers down to it. Okay, we've got one more of these, and I've saved the toughest to last, I think, especially for the teachers. Now, I'm sure I'm not kicking anything behind me. The shape we're going to get into this time is going to be a bear pose. So this isn't like, it's a little bit like the plank shape that we did before, where we were just on hands and feet with a straight back. But this time, our legs are bent. I'm going to show you at the sides first. So I'm going to hold this shape here. So my knees are bent. The plank, the straight. I'm holding bending knees. And the reason why is I'm going to get you to move as you do it. So whatever room you're in, whatever space you've got, I'm going to get you to crawl like a bear. Now I'm not going to go too close. So I've only got so much space to move into. But if you've got more space around the house or the room that you're in, I want you to do lots of crawling like a bear, but trying not to fall over, keeping your balance and keeping as low to the ground as possible, like a hunting bear. Last few little crawls. And back for me. You've got one more go to do. This is going to be my last crawl, so last few seconds of crawling. See how long you can keep going. And back. And stop. Whew! This has been a hot workout for me, but I should have opened the windows in here. Okay. You've done lots of poses, so well done everyone. Hopefully they're okay to guess. I know I might not look most like a flamingo or a tree, but hopefully you did. And you can keep practicing these shapes and test your mum and dad or parent, guardian, whoever looks after you as well. But next, we're going to try a challenge. So, we've been doing lots of balancing on one foot. And now we're going to try and give you a challenge to do to practice for the rest of the week. And maybe Mrs. Carver can keep an eye on how well you get on. So, what we're going to do is balance on one foot. Okay? That's fine. We've been doing this all morning. Next, I'm going to take off my shoe. Okay, this is why I actually put shoes on. So, I should have said that first. If you had the shoes and slippers ready, go put them on. If you don't have them just now, don't worry. You can practice this later. What I'm going to do with my shoe off is put it onto my head. Oh, maybe not that way. This way onto my head. I'm going to put that foot down. And I'm going to lift this foot up and try and take, this is just like that chair pose we just did. Try and take this shoe off. I didn't rehearse this, so this has gone very well. And now I've got one shoe off, one shoe on my head. Very good. Now I've got the, oh, you stay there, cheeky shoe. My head's pointy, so I've got a disadvantage here. So now next part, I've got to put my shoes back on without dropping this shoe. Oh, I did choose some which were easy to put on. Oh, that's not cheating, that still counts. I'm gonna put that back on my head and swap. And it fell off. It does not want to stay on my head. And then put my shoe back on. There we go. So if you can have a go at that, so hot and warm. You have a go at that challenge. It doesn't matter if you can't do it today, if you don't have the shoes or the trainers available today, have a little go at it. But what we need to do just now is have some stretches to help cool down our body. So what we're going to do first, we're just going to do a few little neck stretches. So not done those with you guys before. So what we're going to do with our neck stretches, we're going to place our hands just over our chest, and the idea of this is just to stop our shoulders from moving. And what I'm going to ask you to do is to gently look over your right shoulder, and you're not moving your shoulders as you do so. Just looking over it, and then we're going to look across the left shoulder. It might look opposites, but you just look over your left shoulder. Again, I'm not moving my shoulders as I do this. Now I'm going to slowly go look over my right shoulder. Now look over my left shoulder. And this is just making sure our necks feel okay. They've got a bit of work done through them today, through all those poses and stretches. Now from here, hands together, push them up above your head from this kneeling position. And we're going to lean over. James, do you want to join me? Let's come in. And now we're going to lean to the other side. You want to do some kneeling too? He's going to feed the horses, so he won't be here for too long. I'm going to lean back across this side. And lean to the right side. Okay. What we're going to do now is just do some deep breathing, just to help us cool down after all those stretches. So you can just sit as you are, you can sit out. I'm putting my hands on my thighs. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to imagine that I'm blowing up a big, big balloon. You can breathe all the way in. And then when you blow out, you're going to imagine blowing up this big balloon, but you're going to blow out really slowly. We're going to breathe in again, all the way in. And now we're going to imagine blowing up this big balloon. One more time, breathe in. And blow out the big balloon. Those are always really good ways to help you stay calm and relaxed and cool down if you get too warm, or relax if you're feeling a little bit stressed or worried or sad about anything. So not just with exercise, you can do this breathing exercise anytime you want. Okay, we're coming towards the end. So I just wanted to say well done to you all to having a go at that today. I know some of the movements weren't necessarily very easy, but it's very good to try them all. Don't worry if you weren't able to complete the challenge at the end straight away. You've got all week and beyond to keep trying. It's a fun little game just to see how well you've got your balance skills. We can maybe do a reminder of the poses that we did just to wrap up before the end. So first we did the tree pose, which was hands up, making the big leaves. We did a flying bird, which was leaning over with our hands nice and wide. We then, with our bridge shape, which I'll do, which is down here on the ground, lifting all the way up. We also did a boat pose in this shape here. Try to do the same one standing down. We also did a giraffe down here, making this big talk, hi. We did our flamingos, but also with our eyes closed. And we did the chair. And lastly, we did the bear pose. Please do keep doing these. They're very good for your balance and the strength of your body overall. Okay, I will see you guys next week. get outside, have some fun, and enjoy the rest of